23. Okay, so these cells are haploid. They've got one set of chromosomes in them. Okay, now the point behind the first division is to separate the homologous chromosomes. Remember, I got one from mom and one from dad? So the first meiotic division is about separating them. You guys remember those sisters? They're still attached. So what's the point of the second meiotic division? To separate the sisters. So how many cells do I have at the end of a complete meiotic division?
4.
You got 4. 4 cells with exactly half the amount of chromosomes. For that reason, these cells don't survive unless they get used. We'll explain the use later. Okay? These are called gametes. Some examples of gametes fall under egg or sperm. So females, you make the eggs. Gentlemen, you make the sperm. Now, according to this diagram, at the end of meiosis, I'm supposed to have 4 cells, right? According to this diagram. Does everyone agree with me? Good, because I can see it right here. So, I don't know about you guys, but when I was a kid, I used to see twins walk by, okay, in the case of Alejandra and Vanessa, okay? And I used to wonder, well, how come I don't have a twin? So, first question, how many of you guys have a twin? Raise your hand because we know you have twins. All right, so look around the classroom. How many of you guys are twins? Yeah, one set, right? Well, that's interesting. According to this, we should have at least 3 other of our kind roaming around. Doesn't that strike you as odd? So the question is, say it again?
Well, you said some of them might be, so they die off.
A simple way for me to explain this is, each month, every female does this. Are we good?
Yeah.
I'm not going to make it any more graphic than that. I will say this, though. For men, gentlemen, you make millions of those. So theoretically, you got millions of sperm and 4 egg cells. Shouldn't they all be fertilized?
It's a race.
Make sense? But they're not. I'll explain why later. Okay? But how many of you guys do in fact have siblings? That's not what I asked. How many of you guys have siblings where if I put both of you in the room, I could not physically tell you apart? Could not physically tell you apart. So if I put 2 of you in here, I could not say this one's Amory. That's not what I'm asking. If your sibling is taller than you, I can still tell you apart, which is the point of my question. Okay? If we look at Alejandra and Vanessa, okay, at first glance, they might be hard to tell apart, but when you stare at them long enough, you find differences. Don't stare at them, because I'm sure they don't like you staring at them. Are we good? All right. So my next question is, well, why? Okay, here's another question. Assuming you share the same mom and dad, how many of you guys have siblings?
Same mom and dad?
Yeah. You share the same mom and dad. Do not count half-bloods. How many of you guys have at least 2 siblings? 3 siblings? 4 siblings?
Okay.
Stop. How many siblings do you have?
4, including 1 half-blood.
Don't include the half-blood.
Okay, 3.
3 siblings.
Yeah.
All right. So that seems to be our highest number in here is at least 3 siblings. Again, don't count your happies. Okay? The question is, are you identical?
No.
No. So, if your parents are actually thinking on all 4 cylinders, they are able to say, okay, hey, so-and-so. May get your name right. Why? Because you don't look the same. So again, I ask the question, why?
It's not always just siblings. 'Cause my mom.
No, you're right.
I look exactly like my uncle when he was small.
But it all boils down to why. In this case, I need siblings. I'll explain the uncles and cousins and stuff like that.
Cousins.
Okay? But the whole point behind the siblings is that you guys share a common genetic background. In other words, your parents only have 46 chromosomes, right? And you're getting 23 of them. So with 4 siblings, there's 23 chromosomes you're inheriting from mom and 23 you're inheriting from dad. Shouldn't you guys look more alike than you actually do? So, next question. What's a gene? Specifically, what's a gene? And do not say pants. Right.
It's like a code.
Okay. Specifically, it is a sequence of nitrogenous bases, right? That's important.
Sorry.
So a gene is a sequence of nitrogenous bases. Well, why is that important? Well, look at this hair color. Look at her hair color. Okay? Sorry, I did touch you. I didn't mean that. Look at her hair color. Okay? What about his hair color? Or her hair color? Okay? Well, what about her hair color? Or your guys'? Are they the same? Well, why in the world are they not the same? Not what I asked. I asked, why are they not the same?
Proteins.
Yeah.
Mutations.
Yes! Well, what in the world is a mutation?
An error in the
Alright, so, guys remember the sequence of bases that make up a gene?
Yep.
So it must mean that there are different sequences of nucleotides that represent genes. Make sense? Yes or no? So that explains why we don't all look the same, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, now, what I need you guys to do is somewhere you've got in your notes prophase 1. Highlight it, smiley face it, whatever. The reason is because what happens in prophase 1 is unique. It happens here, only here, and that's it. And it only happens in meiosis. So you guys understand that it goes through PMAT 1 and then PMAT 2? So prophase 1, metaphase 1, anaphase 1, telophase 1. There's a pause. And then it goes through prophase 2, metaphase 2, anaphase 2, telophase 2. Those are the 2 stages. Meiosis. 2 stages. Okay? So, prophase 1 is very early. So, guys remember those homologous chromosomes? Those chromosomes that code for the same genetic material?
Yeah.
Okay? Still trying to answer that question of why in the world are not siblings identical to each other? Okay? I mean, they can resemble each other, but how come they don't look the same? And here's the answer. Okay? During prophase 1, those homologous chromosomes are going to line up. That process is called synapsis. They form something called a tetrad. You guys remember the chromosome has its duplicate, right? Its sister? How many sisters are associated with a single chromosome? 2. So if I bring these 2 homologous chromosomes together, how many sisters are there?
4.
There's 4. Tetra means 4. Tetris has those 4 boxes that make up one piece. 4. Good? Now, during synapsis, we have an event called crossover, which means that genetic information from one set of sisters is going to be transferred, hold on, to the other set of sisters. So is this chromosome the same one you got from mom? No. Is this one the same one you got from dad?
No.
This explains why siblings don't look the same.
Oh.
That crossover.